Yo, it's Gypsy Man. And I'ma just come right out and say it. Like off the break. I don't know if I like my staccato. And and I make these videos to give you the real, and it ain't absolute, it's just my opinion, but at my level of shooting, my expertise, and I do this for a living as a professional, and I'm not talking about a firearms instructor. Like, in my primary brand is Glock, you know, and I've been trying my best, and I don't want to sound disappointed for being shielded into buying the staccato, because I'm gonna tell you straight up, people be shilling like shit for the staccatos, and I'm gonna tell you, and I was thinking about this. Does this cross over to other platforms with the staccato, right? And I was thinking, if I don't like a certain aspect of shooting my Staccato P, and I'll tell you exactly what that is as I clean it. I had a session today, and I just had to come to the realization, and I just had to say it out loud. They say it's good for the mind. That I don't know if well, at least for competition's sake, it's definitely not my primary competition gun. I don't like shooting it. Today I was experiencing a hot spot here in the webbing of my hand because I was really pushing. I put a lot of rounds through it. I told myself, I already know I've mastered my Glocks, right? I said I need to put more time on this, and maybe I can catch up to the way I shoot with my Glocks with my 2011. Man, I was wrong about that shit. I'm gonna be straight up with you. I could shoot at my level of shooting. And I'm gonna say in the competition world, I would say that, they'll put me as an A, right? High B A, I teeter along those lines. Not even worried about pushing up to master because I don't want to dedicate my life to dry fire. You know, I'm really putting time into this gun, and I'm starting to notice the nuances in this gun. And I know that it does things well. I've talked about what the staccato does well, but I question, you know, I don't want to say my decision to buy one and try one because I've had a great adventure with the staccato, but maybe this definitely be, the name of my gun is my mistress. She will continue to be my mistress, but I don't even know if I like my mistress, to be honest with y'all. Like I said, I like certain aspects. I like the weight of it. I tell you that. I like the mag well. I like the quick reloads. I like the metal mags. I like the changes I've made with the extended slide release. I like those things about the gun. I like the texture on the gun. I like, the optic, sits well on the gun. All those things, right? I like the mechanics of the gun. I like the theory behind the gun. The straight back, I'm not worried about the straight back because obviously it hasn't outperformed my swivel triggers, right? The pivoting triggers. It just hasn't. And it hasn't made a difference in hand when you're actually in the middle of shooting. It hasn't made a big difference. I'm not thinking about as my triggers going straight back, when it comes to feel. Because to be honest with you, when I'm shooting, I don't feel the difference. I really don't. The Staccato P is pretty much the same frame as the XC. The thing that I don't like about this frame, and I know they made changes in the HD, but for this frame design, I don't like that there's nowhere to control the gun with your thumb. Like there is with the Glock. You have this ledge here and you can control how much leverage you put down and control of the gun with that, right? You don't have that here, so I feel like there's always movement here, whereas I don't have that with the Glock, so I can keep the dot tighter with Glocks than I can with my staccato. And I know the XC would feel the same way. I don't have a problem with pointing the gun. The point on the gun is good. The first shot is always on point. It's the follow-up shots compared to my Glock shooting. I feel like this one's when it comes back down, it goes past 0. So I'm sure I can play with the weights and get that together, but I don't want to have to do all that, but I probably will because I'm curious. But the hot spot, the gun gets hot when you use it for long strings of fire. It gets very hot compared to a Glock. It feels like you're putting an iron in the saddle, you know, and so it's like, you know, I want to get it. The trigger shoots fast and all that stuff, but you can shoot just as fast with a Glock. You really can. I didn't get this gun to improve my shooting. I got this platform for a different experience, and it gave me a different experience. But it's just, I want to say that whatever they tell you, all these shillers out here on the internet, whatever they tell you about how this gun shoots, and if you think that it's going to improve your shooting, that's some bullshit. I'm going to tell you. And I'm an expert shooter. And I'm telling you that's some bullshit. It's a different platform, it's a different feel, and there's going to be a learning curve. So just be mindful of that when you think that the gun's going to do the work for you. You know, you can check out videos of shooting Atlas or anything else. I'm gonna tell you right now, don't expect your shooting to get any better with your Atlas. Don't expect that shit, because you're still gonna get beat, like I've done many times in competition with a Glock. You still get beat with anything. Striker fire, that shit don't matter. Like, it's all about feel. I know it's all about feel, right? And there's some highly proficient, you know, shooters out there. I'm just talking about from my experience with it and at my level with it. And I'm sure I can train it out, but I'm gonna tell you what, it's easier to shoot my Glock than it is to shoot this 2011. You know, and I just wanted to share that with people who are on the fence. Don't expect a magic, you know, this ain't the magic pill, the magic bean. It's not. I'm telling you right now, it's not. Get good with what you got, man. And grab one of these if you're looking for a different shooting experience. But don't think that you're going to jump on this platform and just be great at it. Like, if I had to shoot competition and my Glock goes down, I'll jump right on that, right? I'll jump on it, no problem. You know, I still like some aspects of the gun. But once you start adding weight to your Glock, you know, the only thing you're thinking about is if the trigger feels like a 2011. I don't need the guns to feel like a 2011 trigger. And people need to realize that they don't need that. You don't need it to be good. You don't need it to, you know, it's not going to make you better. You know what I'm saying? Only you can make you better. It's not going to be these tools. I'm going to tell you right now, shooting against a guy, he had an Apollo, right? Last competition. You know, there's so many other factors in competition, right? You know, so many other factors, movement, how smooth you are, your transitions, you know, all these things. Sometimes you draw a little bit, your reloads, you know, your plan. How about that? I think that's going to score you more points than you buying the most expensive gun on the range. You know, that's facts. You know, and then I got to think about how those guys feel when they're shooting and looking at everybody's gear, because you know everybody's checking everybody out at the competitions. And they're like, what you shooting? You shooting a Glock? Yeah, I'm shooting a Glock. You know, I'm shooting a Glock, and you got an Apollo, and you're not doing so good with that Apollo. You know, you're not doing so good. And eventually, we're not even in the same category anyway. But you spent a hell of a lot of money on that to improve your shooting. And it's not, you need to improve your feet. How about that? Your balance. Yeah, see the sights faster, see the dots, you know. All of these things. You can't buy skill. So, I just wanted to share that. I'm going to clean these up. I'm not going to give up on my platform, but I'm going to tell you what. You know, maybe I'll just take it to regular range days, but if I'm practicing for competition, I just have to, you know, I already spent enough time on the Glock. You know, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep messing with it, try to work it out, but I'm telling you, the feel ain't there. So I just wanted to share that with you while I clean these up. And until I come up with a solution, you know, I'll keep you posted. Gypsy Man, I'm out.